This video is brought to you by Squarespace. Okay, welcome back everyone. It is Friday, and on Fridays I do this little thing where I do mail time. I get packages from viewers like you, and this is the video where I share them with everyone. So without further ado, let's get to the mail. So before we get started here, I want to make a comment about mail time in general. So the other day I was talking to somebody who's seen a lot of the mail videos, and he made a comment. He said, you know, one of the things that's very impressive is the quality of the work that you choose to show on there. And I corrected him on that because I really don't choose to show anything. And it's really interesting how this kind of shakes out when I do these videos. Literally, I've got unopened mail stacked up, ready to go, and I tend to grab a couple of these, and I'm going to do a video. So literally, I've grabbed 5 or so random packages, and they just kind of come out how they come out. My feeling is that if somebody has gone to the trouble to make a book, a zine, make prints, whatever it is they send to me, then they deserve to have it shared. And it just so happens that the quality of work on all these is really good. You probably have already noticed this, but I just wanted to point that out once again. On that note, our first book here comes to us from Olivier Desmont. I hope I'm saying your name right. It is a little book called Tsukiji. And Olivier writes, Dear Ted, I hope this letter finds you well. I've been following your YouTube channel for years. I wanted to send you a copy of my new book. Tokyo's famed Tsukiji Fish Market closed its doors on October 6th, 2018 after an 83-year run. I was able to gain special access to the inner market on that day to document this historic event. The resulting book, Tsukiji, shot over a period of 2 years, 2016 to 2018, offers a look at this culturally significant, uniquely Japanese market and neighborhood. 54 black and white photographs are featured alongside essays by Food Sake Tokyo author and Washington Post contributor Yukari Sakamoto. I hope you enjoy it. It's limited to 120 copies. There are about 20 copies left in case any of your viewers are interested in getting one. Keep up the great work. All the best, Olivier. Okay, a few things that I want to say. First off, Olivier, your book is beautiful. Also, what an awesome topic. This is a culturally significant fish market. There is, I believe, a documentary. I have not seen it yet that may be available on Netflix if you guys want to check it out. And if you want a copy of this book, highly recommended. It's beautifully published, well printed. I will put a link in the show description below, so check it out. And Olivier, you should be proud. This is awesome. All right, next up is this little zine, which comes to us from James Pritchard, who lives in London, and he writes, Hi Ted, love the channel, always a great source of information and inspiration to me. I thought I would send you this zine made from a love of Soho and the incredible range of street fashion that you can find there. Hope you enjoy. All the best, James. James, this is a beautiful collection of fashion portraits. You should be very proud. This actually makes me miss Soho in London quite a bit. In fact, I was just thinking, I haven't been to the UK in, it's probably been 10 years now, so that's something that probably needs to be rectified soon. But anyway, awesome work. All right, so next up is a zine called Small Town Post Offices, North Dakota. This comes to us from Mike Hess, who writes, Ted, I have been a fan of your YouTube channel for a few years. I really enjoy that you talk about actual photography. So many other channels focus on the equipment. The art takes a backseat. Thank you, Mike. I wanted to show my appreciation by sending you a copy of a zine that I made last year. This is my first try at one, and I look forward to making more. At the beginning of COVID, I had time off of work. I had decided to explore small towns around where I live and document the local post offices. I felt that while we were getting more isolated because of the pandemic, we were relying on the mail to reach the outside world more. Things that we used to go down the street to get, we now needed to order from Amazon. The only way to get them was to have the mailman deliver them. It was about that time that the U.S. Postal Service itself became a political pawn, and I wanted to make sure that there was a record of them in case they started closing. I purposely tried to exclude anyone from being in the photos to give the feel of abandonment. As I scoured Google Maps looking for what I wanted to shoot, I sought out the locations in a mid-century aesthetic. It seems that there was a huge number built during the 1950s and 1960s, and I did shoot many of them that didn't follow that rule, but the exercise was fun. On the technical side, I used Mamiya C3, Ilford FP4 Plus, and Kodak Portra 160. I like the idea of shooting a camera in black and white film that was from the same era as the post offices. Thanks again. I hope you enjoy it, Mike. So first of all, I love the concept, and Mike, if this is your first pass at a zine, I can't wait to see what you do down the road. This is very nicely done. Excellent work. You know, it's fascinating to me how many zines I actually get in mail time. And the reason I say that is because they are a labor of love. I mean, it takes time to put these together. They're certainly passion projects and something that you've got to follow a concept and be aware of and really put a lot of effort into. So I really just want to say that because I appreciate the work that people do in these. Now, I did ask you guys a couple videos back on the mail time videos if you guys wanted to see me do any material on making your own zine and making that more accessible to more people. And you guys have left me some great comments, and I'm going to get to some stuff. I'm not ready to announce it just yet, but I promise I do have a project in the works that I think will be a lot of fun. So I'll get to that probably in the next month or two here. But anyway, I do have two more to share, but I want to real quick give a shout out to our sponsor today, who are the awesome folks over at squarespace.com. Listen, you need a website, and we all know how much work that is to build and maintain, but it doesn't have to be. Squarespace is by far the easiest way to build your online presence. It's also the best way to grow a business that works for you without having to write a single line of code. Do you just need a simple portfolio or a blog to showcase your work? Well, Squarespace is perfect. Featuring a drag and drop interface. It's intuitive, it allows you to build galleries quickly and update your site with ease. Are you running a business? Well, Squarespace gives you additional tools for things like appointment scheduling, private member areas, social media tools, and even advanced email marketing. Do you sell products or services? Well, Squarespace has you covered with complete tools to power your store, from merchandising to checkout, so that you can sell, ship, and build your customer base. You can even sell classes or manage appointments through your website. And with Squarespace extensions, you can easily sync with third parties to manage, optimize, and enhance your website. From social media integration to SEO, Squarespace gives you all the tools you need to grow a business that works for you. So head over to Squarespace and sign up for the free trial. Start with one of their award-winning templates and see what you can create and just how good you're going to look. When you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/AOP and I can save you an additional 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Just use offer code AOP on checkout. So give it a try and see if Squarespace is right for you. And I want to give a special shout out and thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Can I just say that I love handwritten notes? I'm just saying. I also love zines, so this is a good combination. Anyway, this is a little zine that comes to us from Alec Hoffman, who writes, "Hey Ted, someone from the Photograph Crew Discord server wanted to buy a copy of my new photo book and have it sent to you for your photo book videos. This book is titled 804 and covers the life of Richmond, Virginia. I am a current graphic design student at VCU, and I've only been doing film photography since January of 2022, so it's pretty new to me. The copy I sent you, I forgot to add a page with my name and info. This book is by me, Alec Hoffman." Thank you for clearing that up, Alec. Beautiful work. All right, next up is this book called Housebound, which comes to us from Adam. And Adam writes, "Ted, hello from Toronto, Canada. As a small token of gratitude for everything you do in the photography community, I have enclosed my first zine, Housebound. The photographs included in Housebound were taken during the COVID-19 lockdown between March and July 2020. Along with countless others, I have had to deal with my own sense of confinement and isolation. Once a place of comfort, home had now become a workplace of frustration, a space of virtual celebrations, a gym, a restaurant of limited means, but it had also developed into the focus of my lens as it replaced the street. Out of the constraints of the domestic setting, the natural light, and the candidness of the mundane, I documented the beauty and tension of the varying relationships of light within the home. The days became weeks, which became months, and in what felt like an eternity were captured for an eternity. Thanks again, and wishing you all the best, Adam." All right, so first of all, Adam, excellent work. You should be very proud of this. There's a couple things that I want to say about it. First of all, congratulations, because you have just conquered one of the most difficult subjects in photography, and you've made something really nice with it. And by that, I mean the familiar surroundings, the day-to-day, the things that we're most familiar with. You know, in all of my years personally shooting as a photographer and in doing this YouTube channel, one of the things that I hear the most, and I think the same thing, is that the hardest things to photograph are your immediate surroundings, like your own city, your own home, your own neighborhood. And I think that a lot of this is psychological, because I assume because I'm so familiar with everything and I've seen it and I don't really know what to do that's creatively inspiring with it, that I assume everyone else is going to think that too. You know, we all think that we need to travel, or we need to go somewhere exotic, or the light has to be just right, or we need the perfect model, or we need the perfect studio setup. And the reality is none none of that is true, and I think that's evidenced in Adam's little book here. So awesome work. The other thing that I want to say about this that's just fascinating to me, not just because of this book, but because it's come up in several times in things that people sent me. I've also noticed how many people started YouTube channels during lockdown the other day. It's really kind of cool when you think about it. And I kind of knew this would happen, but it's really interesting to see the people who have stuck through that. You know, that was a time, especially early on, when a lot of us were dealing with lockdowns, or, you know, places weren't open, or whatever your situation was. It did feel isolating, and it did feel really strange, and I remember it felt very quiet. And I've shared on this channel a lot that I dealt with some depression issues during that time. It was really kind of scary. But at the same time, I remember being there thinking, okay, things come along. We're experiencing this tectonic shift in the way that we all perform our day-to-day, and the way that we think about things, the way we approach our work, whether that's our hobby work or whether that's our vocation. It is all just changed. And it's really interesting to see how people, and this is the part that I was excited about at the time. It was hard to get excited about the time, but I knew it would come, is when starting to see now the fruits of the labor from all that. And so it's just really interesting to see how that shift is going to manifest itself going forward. And what I hope is that it showed people, like our friend Adam here, that you can create good work in those situations, and don't wait for a magic moment necessarily to create and practice and be in that habit and shoot and create work and do cool things. I think that's the big takeaway here. Anyway, awesome work today, guys. I love doing these videos. They're really a cool way for me to connect with you guys as an audience, so I really appreciate the work that you guys send in. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Until the next video, I'll catch you later. See ya.